You know that credit card in your wallet right now? The bank behind it can legally take away your rewards, cut your limit in half, and shut down your account, all before you finish your morning coffee. And they don't have to text you, email you, or even tell you why. I read every major agreement cover to cover, built a spreadsheet ranking which bank gives itself the most power over your money. And I found a clear winner. But before I tell you which bank ranked worst, you need to understand exactly what they can do to you, because once you see what's in these agreements, you'll never look at your wallet the same way again. A few months ago, I was the guy who never read the fine print, and that mistake cost me a $3,000 vacation. I signed up for a travel rewards card, spent months racking up points, and the day before I booked my flight, the bank closed my account and erased every single point. No warning, no explanation, just a letter saying they could do that. I was devastated, but that frustration sent me down a rabbit hole that led to the spreadsheet I'm about to show you. I started reading every agreement, every clause, every hidden power these banks reserve for themselves. And what I found changed everything. Now I know exactly which banks you can trust and which ones will leave you stranded at the checkout counter. And that's exactly why I wanted to make this video. So I collected every major credit card agreement I could find. Chase, Amex, Citi, Capital One, Discover. I have them all right here. Some are 5 pages, some are 50. But the length doesn't matter. It's what's inside. And what's inside? A whole lot of we can do whatever we want. I'm going to walk you through the 7 places where these banks hide their real power. And at the end, I'm going to show you which bank gives itself the most flexibility. And trust me, it's not who you'd expect. First, can they just change the rules on you, raise your APR, add new fees, change your rewards program out of nowhere? Yep. Almost every agreement says they can change terms, rates, and fees whenever they feel like it. Some even reserve the right to add entirely new terms without telling you in advance. So that agreement you signed, it might not even be the same agreement next month. You might be wondering, how is that even legal? Well, you agreed to it. It's right there in paragraph 1. And here's what keeps me up at night. They don't even have to give you a good reason. They just have to give you notice. And sometimes they don't even have to do that. Can they close your account without warning? Every single one says yes. And the language is chilling. For any reason or for no reason. That's a direct quote. And when they close it, you still owe everything immediately, even charges that haven't posted yet. Imagine you're at the grocery store, swipe your card, and it gets declined because your bank decided to close your account 5 minutes ago. No text, no email, just declined. You're standing there with a cart full of groceries and a card that worked yesterday. That's the reality. And the worst part, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't call and demand they reopen it. You can't appeal to a manager. It's done. Can they slash your limit in half? Absolutely. And this one hurts different. Some agreements say they can reduce your credit limit at any time for any reason, and they don't even have to tell you first. So you could wake up tomorrow with a $10,000 limit cut to $2,000, and your credit score tanks because your utilization spiked, and you had no idea it was coming, no heads up, no courtesy call, just a lower limit and a damaged credit report. And if you were planning to use that limit for an emergency, too bad, it's gone. This isn't just embarrassing at the register. This follows you for years. What about that 29.99% APR? Can they spike your rate out of nowhere? It's called the penalty APR, and most agreements have it. Some apply it if you're late even once. Others if you go over your limit. The language is always the same, so we may increase your APR if you don't meet the terms. That word may is doing a lot of heavy lifting because may means they have a choice, you don't. And once that penalty rate kicks in, it can stick around for months, even years. I've seen agreements where the penalty APR stays in effect indefinitely. You make one mistake, and you're paying nearly 30% interest forever. Speaking of that word, I counted how many times these agreements use word may. Not word will, not shall. May. Because may means optional for them, mandatory for you, and it's everywhere, hundreds of times per document. But the real power words? Sole discretion, terminate, suspend, modify. One agreement actually says the bank can take action based on its sole discretion, meaning they don't need a reason. They don't need evidence. They don't need to explain anything to you. They just need to feel like it. Let that sink in. Your bank can destroy your credit, take your money, and close your account, right? Because they felt like it. Every single document contains some form of "we may terminate, suspend, or modify your account, your rewards, or your terms." Every single one. And the more I read, the more I realized this isn't fine print. This is the whole point of the document. Now, this one really stopped me in my tracks. Almost every major bank forces you into mandatory arbitration. What does that mean? You cannot sue them. You cannot join a class action. You cannot have a jury trial. If they wrong you, take your points, close your account unfairly, charge fees you didn't agree to, your only option is a private arbitration process that they control. They pick the arbitrator, they set the rules, they choose the location, and you can't appeal. Even if you win, the most you can usually get back is what they took from you. No punitive damages, no real consequences for them. You agreed to this, you just didn't know it. And the one co-branded card I found without it, that's a story for another day. Can they take away your points? Erase your cash back? Most agreements say you'll immediately lose all rewards if your account is closed. And closed includes them closing it, not just you. Some give you 30 days to use your points, others gone instantly, and they don't have to warn you. One agreement defines misuse so broadly, it includes repeatedly opening accounts for the purpose of generating rewards. So if you're a points optimizer, they can take everything and call it misuse. Months of spending, years of saving, thousands of dollars in value, gone in a second, and you have no recourse. Because remember, you can't sue them. You signed that away in paragraph 3. And here's one that genuinely surprised me. You know what counts as a cash advance? It's not just ATM withdrawals. Depending on your agreement, buying casino chips, lottery tickets, money orders, even some crypto purchases can be treated as cash advances. That means higher APR, immediate interest, no grace period. You think you're making a regular purchase at the gas station. The bank sees it differently and charges you accordingly. No warning, just a bigger bill. And here's the kicker. The definition of cash equivalent is different for every bank. So what's fine on one card might cost you 25% APR on another. You'd never know unless you read all 22 pages. So I built a full comparison. For every bank, I tracked the same questions. Can they close you without notice? Can they cut your limit? Do they have penalty APR? Do they force arbitration? Can they take your rewards? How many times do they use may, terminate, suspend? And after reading all of these cover to cover, one thing is crystal clear. Every major bank gives themselves massive power, but one bank stands alone. The most may statements, the broadest closure rights, the most ways to change your terms without asking. It's not the one with the longest agreement. It's not the one with the most fees. It's the bank whose lawyers wrote the most flexible language in the industry. And I'm about to tell you who it is. Right after I show you the one type of card that actually gives you slightly more protection and the 3 cards I would never carry. Now, you know what these banks actually reserve for themselves. The arbitration clauses, the penalty APR triggers, the rewards forfeiture rules, the cash advance traps. You know that may is the most expensive word in these agreements because every time they say we may, what they really mean is we can and you can't stop us. So the bank that ranked worst, Chase, broadest closure rights, most may statements, most power over your money. But here's what you actually need, which cards to avoid, which ones are safer, and the 3 agreements that cost people the most. That's in the next video. Subscribe and hit the bell.